Hey everybody, today I have a UU match against Dittomywiz. I just hit him up on Skype a few days ago, asked him for a battle, and he was like, sure. And it ended up being a pretty good match. So, looking at his team, he's running a very offensive rain team with 3 Swift Swimmers and a Tornadus. So I definitely have to watch out for those. I have to keep like my Roserade and my Suicune at high health in order to deal with those. I'm going to decide to lead with my Raikou here, just because he's running a very water-based team. I figure I'll have a good matchup against anything except the Lantern. So he decides to lead with his Sableye to get that prankster Rain Dance going. I really predicted him to go for a Rain Dance turn 1, so I went for a substitute, but that was really a misplay on my part because he does have a Lantern, and I can't actually do anything to Lantern because my only 2 attacks are Thunderbolt and HP Ice. So he gets the Will-O-Wisp up, and that really sucks because now I'm going to get worn down a lot, and Raikou is going to be pretty important in this battle just because it can hit a lot of his team super effectively. But at this point, I'm just going to go for a T-Bolt after he taunts me to try to stop me from setting up, but it's kind of pointless to set up now that I realize that I can't do anything to his Lantern anyway, especially since I'm burned. So I get a Para on the T-Bolt, but that's really not that important because, spoilers, he doesn't get Parahacks at all. But now I'm going to switch out from behind my sub, predicting him to go into Lantern and go into my Roserade. So that worked out really nicely for me because now I can get a free layer of spikes here as he goes right back into his Sableye. I figure he's just going to taunt me to try to stop me from setting up spikes or anything like that. And I'm just going to go for a Giga Drain. And knowing that I can 2-hit KM from that amount of health, he can try to recover stall me if he wants, but at some point he'll probably either get Parahaxed or, I mean, he can't do anything to me anyway because he could just Will-O-Wisp me and I have Natural Cure anyway. So he decides to just sack his Sableye, get up a last-ditch Rain Dance, and then get a free switch into his Tornadus because now he can start Hurricaning everything. So I'm going to switch into my Rhyperior. Rhyperior is really useless in this battle because literally everything on his team, except for that Sableye, which is now dead, can 1 or 2-hit KO me. So I figure I'm not even going to have an opportunity to set up rocks at all. So after he goes for the Hurricane, I'm going to take that, and he's able to just take me out with a Grass Knot here. So that kind of sucks, but I did have to sack something because Tornadus is really just such a threat in the rain. It's kind of scary. But now I have a free switch into my Raikou, and I can just drop a Thunderbolt here. I didn't want to predict a switch into his Lantern again just because I did it last time. And because if he did stay in and predicted me to double switch, I had nothing else to take a Hurricane. So I went for the safe Thunderbolt, but he does go into his Lantern. But now I can go right back into my Roserade knowing that he really can't touch me at all. Just because I resist both of his stabs, and even if he gets a status, Natural Cure is really an awesome ability there. But he is just going to Volt Switch on out, right back into his Tornadus. So now I have to worry about these Hurricanes coming in once again. I think this time I'm going to go ahead and decide to switch out into my Suicune, knowing that I can take 1 or maybe even 2 Hurricanes, and looking at this damage, because he's not Life Orbed, maybe he's Damp Rock, or I'm not totally sure, but looking at that damage, I definitely can take 1 more. So predicting his Grass Knot here, I'm actually going to go out into my Mienshao, but he actually switches out into his Lantern, trying to keep his Tornadus at high health. But this definitely works out for me. Also because I'm reckless, I know a high jump kick will actually be able to take him out, because Lantern is really not very physically bulky, and reckless high jump kick is very, very threatening. So the rain stops, which is nice. He goes back into his Tornadus, and here I really wanted to stay in and go for the high jump kick again, knowing that I could 2-hit KO him and outspeed, predicting his Rain Dance, but I didn't want to risk him going for a Hurricane, although he would have had to hit through the 70% accuracy. So I mean, it was kind of a tough choice. I ended up deciding just to go right back into Suicune. I think it definitely would have helped me out in the long run if I had stayed in, but it was really just a pretty big risk there. So he just is going to go for a Grass Knot, knowing that he can take me out in a couple hits. I'm going to get off some damage with the Scald. Actually, it does over half because it's rain boosted, and I get a burn, although that's really not important because I'm able to come in and revenge kill him right afterwards anyway. So he is just going to take me out with 1 last Hurricane, and I can go right back into my Mienshao and take him out with a Scarf High Jump Kick. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, and I'm saying so a lot, which is strange, but I can just take him out with this High Jump Kick here. And at this point, he's going to go into his Kingdra, and I really don't want to take a hit from the Kingdra. I figure if once his rain's down, Mienshao can outspeed the rest of his team and really do a lot of damage with high jump kicks. So I'm going to go right back into my Sableye, or not back into my Sableye, but Sableye is pretty useless in this battle because he has a lot of special attackers, no fighting types. The only thing he could really do is maybe burn the Kabutops with a priority Will-O-Wisp, but that's about it. He gets a crit on his Draco Meteor, and because he has a white herb, that actually wouldn't have taken me out without the crit, but all I could have done was get off a Will-O-Wisp on him, which wouldn't have been much of a help. And it maybe would have stalled out another turn of rain, but that's really about it. Not too big of a deal. I take his Dragon Pulse awesomely because especially defensive Roserade is just that awesome. I'm going to get off a couple Giga Drains. He misses a Draco Meteor, although I have been taking his hits really well anyway, and I probably would have recovered off most of the damage with Giga Drain and leftovers anyway. And now he's going to get off a Draco Meteor, and as you can see, because he doesn't have a Life Orb or anything, that does less than half. And I'm able to get off one more Giga Drain, recover a little bit of health, and take him out. So at this point, things aren't looking too bad for me because his last two are Ludicolo and Kabutops. So I know Ludicolo can't do any damage to me, but he can set up the Rain Dance. So he is going to set up the Rain Dance, and I'm just going to drop a Sludge Bomb on him. But unfortunately, that isn't quite enough to take him out, just because Ludicolo is pretty especially defensive naturally, actually. And he's just going to go get off an Ice Beam. I know I can live one and take him out with a Giga Drain or a Sludge Bomb, but he gets a crit, and that's going to take me down. However, Kabutops' Stone Edge was a guaranteed KO anyway. I mean, granted, he would have had to hit the Stone Edge, but I still don't think it was too game-changing. But his Kabutops is in here now. Honestly, at this point, I have to hope for some kind of crazy stuff. I mean, my only chance at this point is if he's not running max speed, I can outspeed him with Scarf Mienshao. But unfortunately, that's not the case. He is running max speed, and he's able to take me down with a Waterfall. So that was a pretty close 1-0 there. So definitely a great game, Dittomywiz. It was a lot of fun. Maybe rematch sometime, but hope you guys enjoyed the match, and I'll see you later.